Hey y'all, welcome to Witty Witty Banter.
I'm Monica.
And I'm Paola, and today we go down memory lane.
Yep, that's right. We talked a little bit about Latin American Ensemble in the last memory lane. Well, we talked about it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And now we get to talk about why we mainly joined Booker T. Washington.
Right. Why we auditioned in the first place. Because honestly, when I auditioned to Booker T. Washington, I had no idea what really was going on in that building. It was just mainly my choir director from TC Marsh, Mr. Fikes.
Yeah.
He basically grabbed a group of potential auditionees to go in. He was like, okay, you guys are really good. You have potential. I believe in you.
And this was middle school.
Yeah. And I remember TC Marsh had a rivalry with Griner.
Yeah.
Middle school.
Even though I wasn't part of the ISD, because I'm from here. So for people that don't know, and we'll get into our, how's everything going, but we kind of wanted to start. We're super excited to talk about the subject. So that's why we're like, yes. But all the Dallas ISD schools, I wasn't super familiar with the names until I met you and some other friends of ours. And yeah, it'd be like that.
And so, I think that had a little bit of incentive for Mr. Fikes to push a lot of us to go and audition.
Right.
And so, yeah, a lot of us from TC Marsh actually made it into Booker T for choir, for orchestra, band. Because we really had a strong
Y'all
music.
had a lot of people coming out of that school.
Yeah, we did. And I know that he prided himself in his choir and molding young singers. And if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't have gone to Booker T. Washington. I would have probably gone to either W.T. White or the other magnet school. Is it Townview?
Yeah, Townview is the other one. But I think it was more for business. Because we have, so get this. Okay, I graduate. And then all of a sudden Grand Prairie opens up an art school, and then they open up more art schools throughout elementary and middle. And I'm like, where was this? I could have just stayed here.
I could go down the street.
No, we had to drive 20 miles that way, 20 miles back a day.
Oof.
A day.
Yeah, girl, that commute was crazy.
But, by the grace of God, I had family that, at the time we didn't see it as a invisible blessing. My mom had been laid off from her position, her job, but she was able to take me to school every single day. Wow. And then I think my senior year, she found a job. So then my dad started taking me every single day before work. So it was that. They were definitely you're not going to be driving to Dallas.
Yeah.
People in Dallas, they don't know how to drive.
Especially in downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
And that's where Booker T. Washington is. We kind of discussed it in our first episode of how we met and how it's in the arts district of downtown Dallas. And yeah, it's pretty crazy out there.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of the times, there's different directions on the lights. I think Fort Worth's starting to do that too, or it was like that too. But no, if you go down the wrong way, you're going to get hit, straight up. You got to follow the lights. There's multi rows of lights. And so if you don't realize that one is there, you're going to miss it, you know?
Or the different exits into different places will take you to different parts of downtown. And yeah, you have to really know your roads. I used to take the bus, so I was lucky in that regard. But do you remember the Tuesday rehearsals?
Oh my gosh. They felt like forever, dude. They felt like forever. But then my first year, and again, we talked about it on the first episode. My first year was actually my sophomore year. So I knew nobody.
Yeah.
And it was intimidating because my whole upbringing was around music. I joined choir when I was in the 7th grade, and that's the teacher that actually told me about Booker T. And so she's shout out to Sandra Davis, who's still teaching, by the way. Nice. She's still teaching, but she was teaching at Jackson Middle School whenever I was in her choir, but she's teaching now in Grand Prairie High.
Okay.
So,
she went on up. Okay.
But she's the one that actually, said, hey, you have potential. You should be focusing on your craft. They do have an academic program there too, but you sing, and you sing very, very well. She's like, you can do this. So we went in for a tour, and I was amazed. You know, ultimately, what's funny is like if you look at the outside of the Booker T, it looks like a prison.
Yeah.
Like
brick walls, like
Yeah.
the metals.
it
Yeah.
looks very intimidating.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you go inside and we're the art that's actually inside,
Mhm.
just with all the different colors and people playing music and dancing and, you know, like art being created all
Mhm.
in one space.
And also the expression of fashion
Oh
and
my
of
gosh,
your,
yeah.
you know, like people just creating out in the hallways or
Yeah.
out in, what was that space? The auditorium area?
Yeah.
Like the outside
The
auditorium? Not the
mat?
mat, but the one outside.
Yeah,
What
so
was that
that
one called?
was I don't even remember what it was called.
It's
Like
kind of like an atrium,
basically,
but it
yeah.
had a name.
So there's this, and we'll put a picture of it
Yeah.
so that y'all know what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
the people that know, they got it.
Yeah.
It for our lunches, you could either sit inside the cafeteria or you could sit outside in that atrium area.
Yeah. There was a stage and then like kind of like a stairway up
Yeah.
into like the other side of the building because Booker T had two buildings. It had the old building and then it had the new building.
Yeah.
And so the little atrium outside kind of divided.
Yeah, it's right in the center.
It's right in the center.
middle. And I mean, that was always the cool part of lunch is that you could sit outside. Sometimes there would be like theater performances being played. Sometimes there was like rock band, our, you know, Latin American ensemble. And then gospel, yeah, jazz, MIDI ensemble. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun because there was always something going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so definitely
we
got a tour and I was really amazed with everything. Like just the fact that there was practice rooms. I didn't even know what that was until we got to Booker T. And it looked like a dungeon there too. So like when I did my audition, they put me in one of those rooms. I'm like,
oh, really?
Where the hell am I?
I don't think I went into the practice rooms when I auditioned. I just remember, I think I was running late actually. And so I like barely made it to like the meeting that they have at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like they just put you off in little groups and then you go and audition. And I think I auditioned for Mr. Martinez, Miss Stevens, and maybe like Marantz, I think. Or
I
like
could see
one
Marantz
of those,
in the room.
like, yeah.
I could see Marantz in the room. There was a teacher a long time ago. There was some drama with that teacher and he left.
Oh, yes. He wasn't in my audition.
No, but he was in mine and he was one of the music theory teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there was issues there. It's fine. He left. And so did, you know, our Latin American ensemble teacher after the first year
yeah.
of us performing. So I wasn't too upset about him leaving. Especially all the things we went through, you know, but Miss
And if
Stevens,
you missed that episode, it is Memory Lane Latin American Ensemble.
Yeah.
So go back and check it out so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, Miss Stevens was in my audition as well as that teacher. Mm-hmm. And then there was another teacher, but I just...
Yeah, I think it was either like Marantz or it could have been... Who else? Who else could have been?
Miss Flowers? Martinez.
No, Miss Flowers was the piano teacher. Yeah, I don't know. Because who was the one in charge of the jazz ensemble, the jazz vocal? Was it Marantz?
I think it was Marantz.
Yeah, so I think he was in charge
of the vocals as well as the musicianship part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you go in and a lot of my students nowadays, they'll ask me questions because they know I'm an alumni. Mm-hmm. I actually have a student right now that's at Booker T going for theater, but she's amazing. She's like, I want to cross cluster. I want to, well, they don't call it clusters anymore.
What?
They don't call it clusters anymore. They call it conservatories. She was telling me all about it. And I was just like, conservatories?
What the hell?
What the is that? Like, what? And I was like, I remember when they were called clusters.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I was like, yeah, you can always cross cluster. She was like, you mean cross conservatory? I'm like,
oh, ew. Okay. Yeah, no.
No, not to make fun of her, because she's actually really, really talented. She sings, she plays piano, she dances, like ballerina, like
amazing.
And then she's in theater.
Booker T is like the perfect place for her.
Yeah.
Weren't they doing like PB&J or something like that where they could experience the different clusters
Yep.
at one point. Yeah, I wasn't there for that. So I just heard from the grapevine.
I think I tried doing one improv class, but they had me in a class with ballet. So it was like a mix up for whatever reason. And
Oh.
yeah, I didn't last a day. I like immediately switched to something else. I was just like, yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah.
But I did like the fact that we could experience like dance classes, like how we've talked about in the past, because ultimately you said it best the last time we talked about it, where you said that you got a chance to feel the music for what it was.
Right.
So that's what that improv class was all about, was like feeling the music and putting emotions into it. And I think that class helped me a lot when it came to singing, because
yeah, because you internalize the music, and the way dancers count music is a lot different than how musicians count music, but it makes a lot of sense, you know?
Yeah.
And for me in choir, rhythm was like the hardest thing for me.
Oh yeah.
The hardest thing. For some reason,
Well,
I
girl,
couldn't.
we were singing all these Eric Whitacre songs, which was great, but then there was a lot of like dissonance between the different parts. Like they would all be like this together.
Yes.
And there was a song we did, and I still remember that like no other, like the Saul song, Cherite besate.
Oh my God.
Like us chanting on stage. And then the freaking
I know the stomping. I think, didn't we record that at TCDA in Colorado?
No. That one was the what was it? It was the Spanish song where it was like where we were clapping
the
on
Amarillas
stage
or something like that.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
I remember
because my dad has the CD from TCDA. And he would like put it on while he was showering and shit. Like, I'd be like, wait, oh, okay, he's taking a shower.
He's supporting me in my craft.
Yeah.
Because I remember my brother came to one of the UIL performances. That's where we did it.
Oh, okay.
We did that one, and then like
the Da Vinci or
oh my gosh, I'm like blinking. Like Water
Night.
We did that one.
Dude, we did a lot of Eric Whitacre.
It was wonderful.
It was amazing.
It made me love him even more.
I know. I didn't know who he was until then. So
yeah, and at the time I think he was a lot younger. Like I don't think he was like an older composer, which I think had a lot of appeal to us, because we were like, we're young too.
This is fresh.
Like,
this is new.
No, but I remember that like no other. I remember being at UIM freaking everybody out because the chanting at the beginning.
That's right.
And then the
yeah, no. So UIL is a competition that a lot of choirs do. A lot of music programs do, like band and orchestra. So it's all throughout Texas. A lot of bands get kind of rated, and that's kind of how they get graded on their musicianship and how well their blending and tone is, a whole bunch of things. So Miss Stevens is our choir director, or was our choir director while we were there.
Shout out to Gloria.
Yes.
She keeps up. She keeps up with all of us. She'll reach out and she's like, I hope you're doing well. So we want to say a big thank you, because she was a phenomenal like choir director. She put in work.
She did. She sure did. She gave it her all. Okay. And if you ever saw her direct, you would know.
Yep.
You would know. Hey.
Yep. Very, very much balanced.
No, but yeah, she definitely influenced us greatly and impacted our lives for sure. And one of those is because she introduced us to such incredible music that, like you said, had dissonance, had hard rhythms, hard harmonies, and extended our range like no other. And as a 14-year-old singing things that are college level,
they really are,
really exponents your like growth in your craft. And so singing Eric Whitacre and singing with like really incredible singers was like the highlight of the choir. And of course, taking all of that stuff on the road with the choir. We went to Colorado. You guys went to New York.
That was our first trip.
Yeah, that was our first trip together. We went to Italy and did like a whole tour.
She went to Italy.
I went to Italy.
I went to New York for my senior year. Tell me how that's fair. Tell me how that's fair. It's not. It's not. I'm not angry at you though.
I know it's not my fault.
I ain't angry at you though. But I'm like, if I could go back in time and just fail the first senior year and then just go, I wouldn't be in the school anymore.
It was
but
worth it.
yeah, no, I was so upset.
I know.
I cried. I did cry. I was like, how the hell? But I mean, we still had a good time in New York.
Yeah.
And my travel buddy was actually Alejandro too.
Aw,
Yeah.
sweet.
So I was surrounded by good people. I met good people from Booker T. And then the choir too. We were all tight knit.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. When you're a choir kid, it's like that's your family.
Oh yeah.
You know, we spend a lot of time together, like going back to those Tuesday rehearsals. Like we were there from after school, let's say 3-4 p.m. until like 6, 7, or 8 sometimes, even 9, because we had performances. And yeah, my dad definitely got to the point where he's like, I have to wake up super early in the morning. You're gonna have to drive yourself on Tuesdays. And I'm like, okay, I don't have my license, but I'll drive anyway. I was like, okay.
No, my parents were very what's the best word for it? I was very sheltered, very protected, which is a good thing. Now, if I look back on it and kind of see where things could have gone, I think, you know, my younger self would thank my parents today because
absolutely,
you know, but they were like, you don't leave campus. We know that you're in downtown.
Oh yeah.
We know that you're in downtown, but don't leave the campus because you don't know what's out there. And it's true. So they were always like, yeah, you're not driving. You're not driving. We just talked about it too. But I'm just like, at the time I had seen my friends like driving and I'm like, no, but I want to. Like, I want to be where the people are. But, you know, ultimately, yeah, my parents did necessarily become very overprotective, especially because we were in a school.
And you were so far away. Like,
yeah,
that's like a 40-minute drive. And
so if anything bad happened, you know, it would take forever for them to get there.
Exactly. And that's not a fun place to be at all. No, I definitely took my liberties, especially when I was driving. We would go hop on the DART train. At one point, I was taking the DART train to Booker T because I didn't have a car. I didn't have any, like, I would just like, or my dad would drop me off at the DART train, or my mom would drop me off at the DART train, and me and Yahaira, we would just go together.
Yeah.
And we would walk from the DART train station to Booker T. And that was fine. I was like, I got really familiar with downtown Dallas. I actually did a Photoshop class my senior year. Yeah, they were offering that class, and we would just like be let loose in downtown Dallas to like take pictures of skyscrapers and whatever else we saw. Like,
yeah, I think I remember that actually.
Yeah. But so yeah, no, I definitely took my liberties. Got pizza at like the West End and like you know, came back with like my goodies. All right, I'm ready for rehearsal. Like,
yeah, no, I would just walk across the street to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that too.
That would be my go-to place all the time because they would have pizza for like 2 for $5 or whatever. I think they still do that.
They still do, yeah.
But that was our thing. Was just we'd go across the street, pick up whatever we were gonna eat because we weren't gonna
back,
because we were gonna be there a long time.
Yeah.
And I remember the rehearsals. I don't remember the person that did it, but she was like, no, we got to be tight. We have to be, what is it?
The section leader?
Yes.
Was it Oneida?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember her face and everything. It's just, yeah, her name escaped me. But I remember she was real fierce about it.
Yeah.
Real fierce. We had some really good section leaders.
I know the seniors, my freshman year, they were like out of this world type of singers, type of dedicated to their crafts. Yeah, definitely intimidated me as a freshman. Like, I don't have that type of voice. Oh my God, what the fuck am I doing
What
here?
do you want me to do? I'm giving it my all.
Why am I here? You know, like, I don't know. I don't know how to sing anymore. I don't know how to read rhythms. Like,
apparently I'm wrong at everything. I'm a failure.
No, but they definitely encouraged us to like keep going, especially because Oneida was also in Latin ensemble, and she kind of like passed the baton down to us and was like, no, you guys keep it going, keep it strong. We also had, do you remember your senior buddy? Did you get a senior buddy as a sophomore?
I didn't.
No.
So, I think what ended up happening was Alex Gonzalez.
Yes,
So
yes,
he
yes, yes.
became my buddy, but it wasn't so much like as a senior buddy. It was more just like,
Because he was
hey,
in your same grade.
yeah, we were the same grade. Shout out to Alex.
Hey.
But ultimately, that was my buddy to basically tell me like, hey, this is how this works. This is how we do things. So I'm really grateful for that friendship because ultimately, like, it did help me to not feel so alone. Um, it's funny that I look back on some of these things because I found pictures
I know
when we were at UIL that I think it was one of our last years together, and it's literally all of us. It's you, me, Chabeli, United, Ursula, I think, was also in the picture, and Eleni too.
Yeah.
So hopefully you don't mind, Eleni, but we're gonna put the picture right here. But it was, I mean, we had a bond, you know, all of us, not just with the females of the group, but the males too.
Oh, yeah,
we all bonded really, really well. And like those friendships lasted a lifetime. I mean, nowadays, what? It's like for me, it's been 12 years since I graduated. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm going on my 11th year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still talk to these people to this day. They still they still support.
Yeah.
They still show up.
Absolutely.
They still, you know, reach out, and it's been really nice to see everybody just kind of growing up. It's weird.
It is.
But it's nice to see everybody like really thriving in their craft. Like
definitely. Yeah, I have a lot of friends from choir who are now touring, have their own original music out.
Yeah.
They're DJs. Like, we are still very much into the arts. And even if the people who are not, they're still supportive of the arts, you know? So I think that once you're in music and you felt that connection with people, like you make music together, you have like a different understanding and a different appreciation for music. Not to say that people who listen to music don't understand it or don't have an appreciation for it, but you create a bond. And so there's like more depth to what you hear.
Right.
Especially if you've sang the song or if you like learned the piece. Like you're like, oh, core memory, you know?
Exactly that. And Vanessa, whenever we did her interview, you know, so if y'all haven't seen that interview, go ahead and check it out. It's Vanessa Ayala. And she put it best where, you know, people will come up to her and ask her like, hey, like, what is it all that you do? Like, because people can listen to a song and they're either listening to the music or they're listening to the lyrics, but that's it. But Vanessa was like, I want to hear the backup vocals, like the ones that are way, way, way back there. I want to hear this part of the drums or this part of the saxophone or whatever. She's like, when you're a musician or whenever you're like in your craft, you study every bit of it. It's not just like listening just to listen, like how normal people would. And I say normal because it's like, unless you've studied
non-musician.
Unless you studied it, you don't necessarily see all the different colors of sound that could be involved in the song. So I love the way that she put it in the interview because she basically was like, yeah, I listen to everything. It's not just
and I think choir trained our ears to like literally listen to every single voice.
Blessing and a curse.
Yeah. But like intonation, your tone, like how wide you open your mouth, and
breath
that's
support,
your breath support,
diaphragm,
like all of those things that really help you as a singer, no matter what like band you're in. Those are all skills that we need to have as vocalists and as musicians too, being able to listen. I think one of the things that I do now the most is like actively listening. I'm like, that's one of my hobbies now. I just actively listen to music because I want to hear what people are doing. You know, I want to hear like how the harmonies intertwine and all of these things. And especially when I hear Eric Whitaker's pieces, when they come up on my shuffle, I'm like, turn that shit up. Oh, I sang that piece. I sang that part right there. Like,
two of my favorite ones from Eric Whitaker is the Seal Lullaby that we got to do. Well, like the people that did All Region, they got to actually like sing it, but we were always told like it doesn't matter if you want to do it, you're gonna audition.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
I do remember that.
So we all learned the music anyways. And Seal Lullaby is one of the most beautiful pieces.
It's so sweet.
But Water Night,
that's my favorite.
is like
Top tier.
Yeah.
Top tier.
And if you haven't listened to any of these, if you're interested in listening to it, because some people don't like classical music,
Right.
but listen to them and just hear it, and just like the harmonies and then the dissonance between notes.
Mm-hmm. And when we say dissonance, it's like when two notes are like really close to each other, it almost sounds crunchy, but it like
it crunches in the right
way, yeah, and it evokes like another sensation. And so Eric Whitacre does a really good job of giving us that crunchy sound. And if you're interested, Eric Whitacre, we'll put his picture and name up here as well so you can see it.
Yeah. But so besides Water Night,
mm-hmm.
what is a piece that you really, really loved and enjoyed?
Dude, Leonardo's Flying Machine. I don't know if you were there when we did that one.
At that time. I think that was just your
Yeah, that was our senior year. Yeah. That was my senior year. Also an Eric Whitacre piece. But man, that one like had like 12 split harmonies and solos happening.
Why can't I hear it in my head like right now?
Yes, it was incredible. So yeah, definitely that's like my number one favorite song that I sang in choir.
It's always Eric Whitacre for me. If I go back and I look at some of the pieces, I don't remember the names, but I'm just like, There was times where we would hear some of our classmates do solos too, and one that's always stuck in my head is the
yes, the Madame Butterfly. We actually don't be so jealous, but I got to see that live in Venice with choir when we went to Italy.
I don't know about this podcast,
and I cried. It was so beautiful.
I can see that. Yeah. I could see that being a thing.
We like rode on the gondola and like walked up to the opera house.
Can you believe this?
It was amazing.
Well, no, I can say that I was super happy about going to New York because I got to see Phantom of the Opera at the Majestic Theater where it was supposed to be.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
There's nothing like seeing a musical on Broadway in the Majestic. Like there's nothing that compares. And that was my very first time I had seen a musical live.
That's a good ass musical to watch.
Yeah, the one I was really excited about it. I had never heard the music. I had never seen the movie. No. For whatever reason, when I was growing up, I wasn't into musicals as I am now as an adult. And don't ask me why. It just didn't click. I think the only one that I really was into, and because it was a movie adaptation, was Hairspray. Oh, yeah. And it wasn't even like the original Hairspray. It was like
the Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Hairspray.
Yeah, Amanda Bynes, Zac Efron.
Oh my god, Amanda Bynes is in that movie. I forgot about that.
And then who else?
I don't remember the cast.
Oh, Grease was also. Oh,
Grease. Yes.
So the guy that played Danny,
John Travolta.
There we go. Yes. He was in Hairspray.
Yes. Oh,
as the mom. Yes.
Holy shit. Oh, actually, we sang a song in choir, right?
Because Queen Latifah. You remember that luncheon?
Queen Latifah came to Booker T?
No. We came to her.
I was like, no.
So one of the times that we got to sing in front of Queen Latifah. And I have that picture too, where she's.
Damn. I don't have that.
I don't have a picture of her because we were on stage, but I have a picture of like the teleprompter when we all sat down at the tables. I feel like you were there, but I could be completely wrong.
I don't know. Is okay? This is gonna be so random.
But we did sing that song.
This is gonna be so random, but I do remember going to a luncheon. And I tried blue cheese for the first time.
I think
at that luncheon, and I was like,
yeah. It had to have been that one.
It might have been that one. It was like in downtown, like a really fancy.
Yes. Big ballroom.
Yep. Okay.
So you were there.
So yeah, I just don't. Dang, I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, I remember
that. Sang for Queen Latifah.
And we all got to hug her too. Like that shit was cool.
Damn, how did I? Yeah, I don't know,
dude. There's so many memories that like they come back in waves.
Yeah.
And it's not even because I don't want to remember, because I did have a good experience with choir. Of course, you have your ups and downs with
everything.
But there's a lot of memories. I'm just like, I remember doing that, but I don't remember like why. I don't remember how. Like,
dude, yeah, like we performed at the Wind Spear at one point with Latin Ensemble. Yeah. And like apparently really famous people were in the audience, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, we were just kids enjoying that time.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we were growing
definitely.
up, but I do remember Erica Badu coming to the
Mm-hmm.
school. She yelled at us. She did. My group of people.
Why did she yell at you?
Because there was one thing, I don't know if you got to experience this, but there was a teacher that created like a class. I don't even want to say curriculum because we literally didn't do anything except talk. But there was a class that combined all of the clusters together,
Okay.
and we were supposed to be
Okay.
creative together. So
Okay.
like the arts, the visual arts, the dancers, the musicians, we were all supposed to be doing something
Like
together.
collaborating.
And we were in the cafeteria. She was in the senior area,
The senior
looking down at us.
cafe.
Nobody was paying attention. Everybody was just kind of just talking. And she was like, "How dare y'all not be doing something with this? This is a wonderful program, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like,
Oop.
and like for me, I'm just like in my head, because I didn't speak out, but I was like, how the hell are we supposed to do anything when the teacher doesn't even know what we're supposed to be doing? Like, the fuck?
Who the fuck you think you is, Erica Badu?
But it was cool.
Do you want to come down here and teach this class?
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Come down. Weren't you a dancer? Come on, come show some moves. I know you sing. I know you got the voice. No,
oh my
but
god,
that was my first.
I mean, honestly,
interpretation.
I would have been like, did she just yell at us?
Yeah,
girl, we just got yelled at by Erica Badu. Holy cow, what the hell? Oh my gosh. You know, like I would have been freaking out.
No, but like literally you could hear a pin drop. It was like we went from like being really, really rowdy and loud to just nobody talking. And she was like, "Do better." I'm like, "I'm trying." Like,
dang. Yeah. No, my only interaction with Erica Badu at Booker T was like literally walking behind her and just being too like shy to like say anything. Yeah, it was just like her big afro and just like her with like all the flowy, like drapes basically. I don't even know if they were actually clothes. Like it was just like drapes and like all the jewelry. She smelled good.
Yeah. No,
like cocoa butter.
She took care of herself.
But
yeah, I remember that like distinctly. And I wasn't upset about it because literally we weren't doing anything.
Right.
So she's a very passionate person with the arts.
Oh, 100%.
Huge advocate for the arts.
A legend in Dallas.
Yeah. But for me, I was just like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. No, you don't say anything. You literally shut up.
and do something.
Do whatever Erica Badu
Get your ass to work.
Do better. Gotta do better.
I keep that in me till this day.
You hear that, Erica Badu?
All I hear is do better.
Inspire her.
Just like
you motivate her.
I'm not a failure, I promise. I did something.
Although now we're just sitting here and chatting. So like, I guess you got some work in.
Yeah. She's like, my impact was very impactful.
That is crazy.
Yeah. No, I remember that distinctly. But
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think one of the other things that kind of took me a long time to remember, but because I've been going back and looking at pictures.
Down memory lane?
Yeah, I guess so. What? Is that the name of the episode?
Maybe.
No, but we used to do the Christmas carols. Every year. Every year.
Yeah.
And I think
it's like October was when we started rehearsing.
Yeah.
Even till this day in October, I'll like, I kind of want to listen to some Christmas music.
Because for us, we had to prepare. So ultimately, Christmas definitely does come early.
And it comes quick. It comes really quick. So.
But I remember being outside in the cold and just like, oh.
For real.
But yeah. And then we would always go eat or do something afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I think my senior year, that's whenever I brought you to karaoke.
Yeah. So, and then that's when I started hating it. Not kidding.
Okay. It all started with me.
Started there. And I'm kidding.
But yeah, there's been like really, really fond memories of being in choir. There's a lot of video. My brother has like millions of videos.
We had so many opportunities to perform in that avenue of music, and like they took us places. Like, I mean, even international.
Yeah.
We sang for the Pope. whenever he did his,
you know what?
his mass. So we went to Rome.
So this episode is all about Italy and Sylvia being able to be there,
so
and
I can just rub it in her face,
you know, on the freaking gondola with the Pope and everything. That's all I heard was gondola and Pope.
And Pope. Yeah, you know what? Check. So through choir, I have been able to check some things off my bucket list. Like one of my bucket list items was to go to the Vatican and sit in one of the Pope's masses that he does. I believe it's like on Wednesdays. And so yeah, we were able to sit there and wait until they announced, and the choir from Booker T. Washington High School from Dallas, Texas, and in Italian as well, and like all these different languages. And then we had to wait until all the languages were said, and then we stood up and we sang like a 1-minute song, and the Pope was right there, and he was just like, God bless you. And then we sat down, and then people that weren't believers or not Catholics, they were just like, it's too hot, peace out, I'm gonna go back inside. And no, I stayed there with like one of the moms. I was like, no, this is what I want.
This is my moment.
This is my moment. It's on my bucket list. And yeah, I sat there, got a little tan. It was amazing. Got blessed by the Pope, because like whenever you sing for the Pope, there's just like so many different groups from all over the world. And there's like a line, or like the processional line where the Pope and everybody goes through. He's like in his little Pope mobile, and he's just like saying hi to everybody. And we were literally like right on the side. And he passed by and he like saw us, and he like smiled at me, I think. I don't know. But I was like, yes, he smiled at me.
She's like, if I felt it, it was real.
It was real. It was real. And it's like Pope Francis. And to me, he has such a like sweet soul and like very nurturing side that we didn't get to see with like the previous Pope. And so it was just like, oh,
she's like, I picked the right time.
I picked the right time to be a Booker T, to be a Booker T. No, yeah, it was amazing. Incredible experience. And like, even though it was just like a minute that we got to sing, it was like the best minute of like choir for me, because yeah, it was something that I got to take off my bucket list.
That's cool.
So yeah,
that's awesome. Anyway, no.
Fuck your story.
I'm jealous. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like being jealous, but you know what? Shoot, I'm gonna admit it today. That's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. That's the only thing I ever wanted to do, was go to Italy. Not so much to like, if I could have sang, awesome, that would have been great. But you know, it'll happen one day. Maybe when I'm like 90 years old and just
girl.
Can't move and...
when you do your world tour, you're gonna go to Italy and you're gonna like shake the Pope's hand. Okay, I'm saying it right now.
She's putting it on the line.
I'm putting it out there.
Manifesting. Yeah.
You don't even have to sing for him. You're just gonna like shake his hand.
and his Pope mobile.
And his Pope mobile, yeah. And he's gonna bless you, and it's gonna be amazing. We're manifesting it right now.
I just want to go to Italy. That's it. I don't even got to do anything. Just eat and drink wine and be happy and see the art and the buildings.
And I was 18 when I was there. It was legal to drink and buy alcohol.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm sure the wine was amazing.
I had a few glasses of wine, and I was working at Picasso's, which is now closed, unfortunately. But it was like an Italian pizza place, and like you had to like learn about different alcohol and like wine. You had to pair it with the food and stuff, and wine was like one of the biggest things that we were pushed to sell. And so I was like, I knew my shit. I was over there like, yes, a nice Merlot. Okay. What do we want? A Cabernet?
An 1835? No.
Don Julio. So I felt pretty like legit out there. It was fun. So yeah, highly recommend you should go to Italy.
At some point. Maybe Marco will take me.
Yeah. Anniversary, whatever.
Who knows? We'll see.
No, but yeah, choir was definitely one of the highlights of my life, because it is what allowed me to sing, and like help me find my voice. Even though whenever you are in choir, you do have to blend, you have to like make sure you're not out singing other people. But within itself, it still has like a lot of potential to like harness your craft.
Right.
And yeah, the people that we met, the teachers that impacted our lives, the trips that we took that enriched our cultural awareness, like
Yeah.
all of that stuff is invaluable to my life, and I owe it to choir.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. No, and I remember us singing, like one of the last memories I remember is we actually got to sing in our vocal coach's wedding, Mrs.
oh
Silva. And she actually
yes,
watches the show and she
yes,
reaches
shout out Miss
out.
Silva,
Yes. Thank
yes.
you so much for keeping up with us too
Yeah.
and allowing us to be a part of your special day. That was amazing. She listen. Her voice phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was always so cool to see, yeah, like she was coaching us and everything, but at the same time, like to see her perform,
Mm-hmm.
just get out of here. So I always admired her, and I used to tell her too. That was the funny thing, and I wanted to bring it up because I hope she remembers this conversation. So when I would be getting ready for my auditions for college, she was the one that helped me pick out songs, and she got me to sing
Mm.
Habanera. Yeah.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Don't remember the words now, but ultimately, whenever I was auditioning, she was like, okay, so what are you planning on doing with your life? What are you planning on doing with your degree? Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And I'm like, well, I'm getting a music business degree, or I'm going to do music therapy because I want to help people, but I also want to focus on my career because that's
Mm-hmm.
whenever I started singing more,
Right.
performing more. And then she was like, okay. And I was like, but I also want to teach. I also want to do vocal lessons like you. I want to be just
Aw.
like you. And she was like, that's a lot to do. She's like, you focusing on one major and then having another major, that's like 2 times the schooling. I was like, but I can do it. I know I can do it. When I got to Dallas Baptist University, I only focused on music business.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever think I was going to teach? Probably not.
You're
Because
like,
at that point, I had given up that dream. I was like, okay, well, if I got to focus on one thing at a time, it's got to be this because this
yeah.
is going to help me
Yeah.
with what I'm already trying to do. And then, sure enough, somebody tells me, hey, there's a position in Richardson ISD, and I'm
Wonder
leaving.
who. Hmm.
And you ultimately opened that door back for me. So, like, the people that influenced me a lot with music and with continuing that passion that I had as a kid is definitely Mrs. Silva and you.
Aw.
Yes. And I don't just say that because she's sitting here, because
Yay.
it really means a lot to me that she saw me and I'm just like, well, I don't know what to do with this, besides what I'm already doing. And she was like, well, about that. So thank you for that
Yeah.
because you definitely made that a possibility. And I wanted her to know too, because
Yeah.
ultimately she instilled that kind of passion for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so if you guys remember the little closet that we mentioned back in the
Yeah.
day, it was basically a practice room for vocal lessons, and that's where a lot of our vocal lessons took place.
Yeah. We had the same voice teacher.
Yeah, we had the same voice teacher, and basically like you would get taken out of choir for like 30 minutes
Mhm.
and you learned other songs that weren't in your choir repertoire. And yeah, Miss Silva was our vocal coach, our
Even in the
vocal teacher.
summertime too, she would
I would
invite
go
us
over
to
to her
go.
house
Yeah,
and
she would invite us
everything.
to go to her house to continue learning,
Mm-hmm.
studying.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to her. Big shout out
Yes.
to Miss Stevens.
Ooh, another person I want to shout out is Robert Gibson. He came in my senior year. He was a senior at UNT, and he was doing his what is it, your
Internship.
internship. And so his student teaching. So he was doing his student teaching, and he like went above and beyond to help and support Miss Stevens, help and support us.
Yeah.
Because I think my senior year, Miss Silva wasn't there anymore. I think she had moved or something. And Robert basically like took me under his wing and was like, all right, we're going to work these all state pieces. Like, you're going to get in this year. Because every year I auditioned, I never got in. Even I made it to area my senior year and didn't make it to state. Till this day, he's like, oh, I'm still mad you didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, I guess. It was back then, but not anymore.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So shout out Robert. Andy? That's an inside joke for us. I'm gonna send this to him. So yeah, and so we work together now. He has his own choir. He's a composer as well, and so he invited
Wow.
me to work with him in his choir and sing some of his original songs. So I can't wait to hear that recording because he did a live recording of this of his set, and yeah, basically he's going to be calling me back. So if you want to join
I'm
in the
here.
choir, we'll be in a little choir again. It was a lot of fun. He sent out the music like 2-3 weeks before.
Oh, that's perfect.
And just learn the music on your own, 3 rehearsals, and then a performance kind of thing. And it's people from all over the place because he's traveled to different parts of the United States and he's worked in different places, and so he has a lot of different connections, different
That's
singers.
awesome.
Yeah, and I believe he's in Houston now, and or he's from Houston and lives there now, and yeah, he's composing and doing his thing, and went through Booker T to help us and to grow himself as well. And he definitely impacted my life, even though he wasn't necessarily a teacher. He was just a student teacher, but it was there. The potential and everything was there, and he saw it, and now I have a friendship because of it.
Yeah.
And so
no, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get to meet you, but
you will meet will meet eventually.
But yeah, so good memories all around.
Yeah.
Good memories all around. And of course, how we always do it, we're going to definitely post a lot of pictures throughout this episode so that you can see little baby Paola and myself, and then a couple
in our
of our
choir
friends.
dresses,
Yeah. There was a picture I was trying to find. Do you remember whenever it was you, me, and somebody else, but I can't remember who the other person was. We did like the Dream Girls pose where it was like
That's right.
I don't remember
was
where.
it Chabeli?
Maybe it
or
was
Ursula?
Maybe it was Jabelli. I can't remember. But at this point, it was my senior year. It was y'all's junior year. And we had made very close bonds, not just in choir, but in Latin American ensemble.
So probably Jabelli.
I think it was Jabelli. Yeah. But I was trying to find it. Can't find it.
Dang. Okay, I'm going to have to scour my
So
Facebook.
if she finds it, it's going to be...
I'll post it. It's going to be here. If I find it. If not, it's just going to be us.
Just... But yeah, so definitely, like, subscribe, follow us on everything. We didn't really get to talk about how the weekend was or anything like that, but I know you got some things coming up.
Yeah, lots of things coming up. Tonight, well, Tuesday, the 8th, tonight, we're at Simply Unwind. And then we are going to be at the State Fair on Friday again on the Bud Light stage. Only two sets, so 5 p.m. and then 7:30 p.m. And then we're also going to be at the Grapevine Library on Sunday for their Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. And then Monday, we're going to be at UTA performing for the students out there to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So
awesome.
Lots of stuff coming.
Yes.
Stay tuned for more.
Absolutely. Yes. And like we said last episode, follow my girl on Instagram. Not just Witty Witty Banter, because we do have Instagram for the Witty Witty Banter, but...
Yeah, my handle is Silvia Pa_Ola.
And then mine is Monica Saldivar Music. Very, very simple. Y'all can just find us, like, subscribe on our YouTube. We are also on pretty much all the podcast platforms, but we typically like shout out Spotify.
Yeah.
So
because they show the video too.
Yeah, they do. That was one cool thing. I was like, wow, okay. We can listen to it and watch
it at the same damn time.
Yeah, but make sure to follow us. Make sure to, any questions that you want to submit to us.
Yes, please.
Definitely reach out.
Can't say it enough. Please submit your questions because we are on a different schedule now. We're doubling up our spicy takes and our burning questions segments. And we're recording them at the same day, dropping them different weeks. but we still need to have those questions in to be able to have a burning questions
Yeah.
episode. So we really need your support there. So please submit any question to us, to Theory. If you want to learn more about Create Epic, if you want to learn more about what we're doing separately or how the podcast world is for us, anything that you're curious about, please submit it. And you can do it through Instagram, through our personal ones, or Weedy Weedy Banter, or on our email, weedywittybanter@gmail.com.
Yes. Also, make sure to help us out with some trends for TikTok, because we're figuring that out as we go. We're just like, oh, this could be cool.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
But if there's something you would like to see, if there's something that you would like us to talk about too, because I did hear from somebody that they wanted us to talk more about, women's health after a child postpartum.
Yeah.
We've never dealt with it, but if it's something that y'all feel is important to talk about, we are going to definitely talk about it.
Yeah, and then we can reach out to people who have those experiences and can talk educatedly on those topics, because obviously we can only talk about the experiences that we've gone through, and we can't speak on other people's experiences if we haven't lived through them. So
right. Also, stay tuned for next week, because we have the mayor of Grand Prairie coming in to do an interview with us. So it's gonna be
fun,
exciting.
I'm excited.
Yes.
All right, guys, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.